In my last video, I talked about the things I do to stay organized in my life, especially juggling so many things, and I wanted to dive into one specific topic a little bit more, and that would be my bullet journal. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ria. For those of you who are here for the first time or need a reintroduction, I used to be a broadcast journalist, and that was followed by a time where I ran a publication and continued my work as a journalist, except off camera and off air. And I decided to leave all that behind after about 10 years of working in the industry. And I currently run a marketing and new media marketing firm, if we want to be precise. I also do some consulting on the side, and I just basically help people with their writing and social media as needed. Today we're going to be talking about how I juggle a lot of different things. I want to say 7 or 8 clients right now, and it's busy. There's a lot going on. It's a term that gets thrown around a lot, but a lot of people don't really know about, or it's not as commonplace to hear about as, let's say, your phone being your agenda or your calendar that you go to, or even your computer. I wanted to talk a little bit about my bullet journal. I've actually shot videos on bullet journals before. I think I've made all the videos private since, but it was a very different time previously. When I had a bullet journal, I had significantly more pages, for instance. I had a hardcover bullet journal and I would constantly decorate it. I mean, I do still decorate now, but what I've learned from my last experience is that I like change. I like variety. I use fewer pages just to shake things up and change things. So that's a nice thing about the bullet journal system, is that I can be as decorative as I want to be. A lot of times I'll just decorate now. I still have washi tape, but I use a lot of stickers, and I definitely use my own creativity when it comes to drawing, writing, things like that. This is what I'm currently using. It's got one little sticker at the top. Now I actually really like this. The one downside to this is that it is paper, and living in a place like Metro Vancouver, where it's constantly raining, I get scared that this gets wet. So I used to actually not take this out with me. I would keep it at home, and then I'd refer to it the night before or throughout the day. I do most of my work from home, but every once in a while I do need to go see a client. My entire life is basically in here. This is the cover I'm using right now, I've got right now, and these are actually really old stickers that I've had since like 2017. I had a booklet of 250. I am trying to get rid of them. What I love is that I have a sticker, like a small sticker collection that I use to keep this, cheerful and bright, a bit more in line with my personality. Last time, I think where I overwhelmed myself was I had too many pages in between my sort of day-to-day planner and the cover page. And I mean, these things you can choose, right? You can choose what you want to keep. So there are 2 things that I have following the cover page, and that is a washi tape legend, and these are like swatches of all the washies I have. And then I also have 2 things here on the next page. The first thing is a spending tracker, and for 2024 I want to try and not do so many impulse purchases. So any day where I haven't done an impulse purchase or engaged in an impulse purchase is just colored. Any day where I did engage in an impulse purchase, and so far I've had 3 this year, which is actually way better than it's ever been. That's probably the least within the beginning of the year. Any impulse purchase is done with like dots. What I consider an impulse purchase is clothing, makeup, shoes, and stationery that hasn't been planned for. These 2 pages are pretty much it. I used to have trackers for everything, like water, health, my mood. It was just too much. So I focused on the ones that were really important to me. And then we just head right into the January page. I don't want to show the previous page because it has my list of expenditures, and I just don't want to share that. It's very simple. So there's stuff like this where it's really, really simple and really, really just lines. And then in terms of what my pages or my setup generally looks like, it's really, really straightforward. On the one side, I have the calendar or list of things to do page. And then on the other side, I will keep notes. I will write down how I feel. I use it as a brain dump. It's been really interesting to go back and read how I've been feeling. And in some cases, I will talk about current events. So some of the things that have been happening in the world and how they've impacted me and my mental health or my emotional health. On this side, for instance, January, you can tell was not very busy. There were just a few things going on, and the calendar wasn't very, very full. On the other side, I've got my journal entries for like what's been going on and how I'm feeling and like where I'm at in terms of my life. I also had one that I recently did, and I try not to do these too far in advance, but sometimes I get on a creative kick and I want to do up some layouts, which is really fun. So I've actually already done up to the 3rd week of March. All of these layouts are super simple. So you can see here, this is the last week of February, or that goes into March. And then this is my March title page that I did. That clover was not very good, that 4-leaf clover, but we just did our best. Little stickers and like getting creative with like drawing, and you can tell I like Pokemon because I've got some Pokemon throughout. I also work for a gaming store, and like before I actually worked for that gaming store, I bought a whole bunch of like larger stickers. So like I have I think that's a Raichu. I'm pretty sure that's a Raichu. Who else do I have? The same store also had like different stickers from different games. I think one of my favorites right now is this layout, which doesn't really have anything in it yet because I haven't planned, but like you can see there's Isabelle from Animal Crossing. And then I mix that with Winnie the Pooh tape. And that's what I really like about bullet journaling, is when I decorate, like if I want to go hard, I can go hard. If I want to keep it really simple, this layout here is really, really simple. There are people who do like crazy stuff with their bullet journals and like use watercolor paint. And I did indulge and buy a watercolor kit ages ago, but it just wasn't for me. And so I've learned that I really like pens. I really like the tape. I like the stickers. I actually got these caboodles for Christmas one year, like ages ago, probably 6 or 7 years ago, but it's by Creative Options. I think places like Walmart and Amazon would sell them, but all of my supplies are pretty straightforward. I do use things like Post-it notes to also add another dimension of decor to my bullet journal. So if I want to really like, you know, shake things up and make it a little different, then I will add Post-its. And there's this one here that I really, really love. Any sort of additional notes I put on these, and then I stick them in the bullet journal if I really want them to stick out. And then these are the stickers that I have. These are the Sports Act. These are the Tokidoki stickers that I was like pining for and finally got. I just usually go to different creators on Etsy to see what they have. And there were 2 that I was really obsessed with. I'm gonna try and find them both and put them in the info section. Rabbit Hole and Craft. I am obsessed with sushi. I love sushi so much. Anytime we go out for sushi, I'll like add a sticker. It's really fun. I actually can't remember what specifically this was. I think it's supposed to be like planning. They're really cute though. And so yeah, I have different things like stickers for the car, no spend. And what I like about this is that the stickers are so unique and the money is going to a creator, which is nice. I can't wait to use this little guy. I'll probably use him in April. Same thing with this. It's like, when am I going to use these? But the whole point is like these stickers are meant to be used. I wanted to do like an Animal Crossing with theme with like Blathers and Celeste. So I've got that as well. This sticker sheet, this is the one that I don't have a name for, but I'll put it down in the info below. I've made a couple of layouts with this, and it's like Pokemon and desserts kind of thing. So I'm gonna make another layout with that, probably closer to my birthday. I went on a capybara kick. I was watching a lot of videos that happen to have capybaras in them. So I noticed that this creator also had capybara stickers. So I ordered a bunch and I have them in one of my layouts. But yeah, just little fun things like that. So I use these Sharpie pens to put together my bullet journals, and they're all colored. I have like a blue and like, obviously I have a black, but I think there's about 10, I think there's about 10 pens in this Sharpie collection. And then I also use, I believe these are zebra midliners. So the one end has like a finer tip, and then the other, I keep dropping stuff. And then the other tip is a chisel style tip. So if I wanted to do calligraphy, I could, but I'm not good at calligraphy. Like it's not gonna happen. So I usually just use them to add a little bit of a difference when it comes to lines and stuff. The last component of bullet journaling, I should say, is people will use symbols to mark whether they've done something. For me, I don't really do that. I just take a look and see what I've done. I used to use symbols. I had like this like curly one with an arrow that was like move it to another day. I had an X for like canceled. So this one, for example, I have a friend's party to go to, and I just like put a star next to it because it's really important. Anything that's uber important, I usually just put a star next to, and then anything that's just like, hey, you have this happening, I just usually leave it with no mark or no bullet. If it's done, like some people like to tick it off, I just look at it and I'm like, okay, that happened. Let's move on. Let's put the next thing down. And so I look at this every other night at minimum. Otherwise I look at it every night. And then if I feel creative or like I need a creative outlet, this is where I go to just draw, doodle, and decorate. This is sort of my like daily, like my Bible for making sure that I stay sane and stay organized, because there's just so much going on. And so I want to make sure that I stay on top of things and I don't let my clients down. Thank you so much for watching. And if you enjoyed this content, feel free to hit the subscribe button below. Otherwise, thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in my next video.